Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is indeed a great day for Steve MP5 and my channel. In hand today in this video, we have a dream gun of mine, finally part of my collection. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this posted already, but here we are making the review. It is the MP5 SD. And of course, don't forget to check out Target Shooting Solutions. I appreciate all their support. Let me film these videos in their facility. These guys are great. Don't forget to check them out. Their IG will be below. Guys, this gun is one of those guns that is top 5, if not top 3, favorite guns of all time. You've played it in probably every video game. You've seen it in many action movies. But this is just a fine piece of German machinery right here. And we're gonna talk about it. This is gonna be a video that is basically the truth about owning an MP5 SD. It is not for the faint of heart. This is not something you just jump into without having any idea what it takes. And I made some mistakes along the way for those very reasons. This gun is not just any MP5. It takes some work. It takes some appreciation of the platform, some patience. It is probably the dirtiest gun you'll ever own, but it is the coolest gun that you will ever own, and most likely the quietest gun that you'll ever own. All right, so let's first talk about what this is. This is a conversion done by the great MP5 builder, Ralph Jr. If you're into HKs and into the scene, you probably follow HK Ralph Jr. If you don't, I'm gonna leave a link to his Instagram below. He is just a master builder. This is a conversion that he did. I sent him a gun and he did the work to turn it into an SD. Obviously I supplied the can, but we're gonna go over the build, everything that was done, everything that I did to give you a look, talk about MP5 SD. So I supplied all the parts to Ralph. When he has parts kits available, you know, you can certainly go directly through him, but I supplied him with all the necessary stuff. The base gun, the SD front end kit, everything that I needed to turn my base MP5 gun into an SD, I sent to him for him to do the work. And let me tell you guys, it might be kind of hard to pick up on camera, but the fit and finish of his build and his work is truly masterful. The finish is beautifully done. It's even. The welds are really nice and crisp. Nice, even looking gun. Now, what I wanted to do is do a B&T SD build. I knew I wanted a B&T can for this because I just want to keep it B&T. You know, B&T is known for making quality stuff. They're known for making a lot of stuff for HK contracts, HK cans for MP5 SDs. So I knew I wanted to source one of those. What I did not know about the B&T SD can is that it is not user serviceable. So this is one of the mistakes that I made in building this. Not sure that would have changed my mind in getting this can because I wanted a B&T can, but every other 9mm can I've seen or own is user serviceable. You can take it apart, remove the baffles to do a nice clean, get everything running, make sure everything stays good. You cannot do this with that can. Did not know that until after I got it. It looks like you can. It looks like you can, you know, maybe take it apart at the base. It looks like you can take it apart, but indeed you cannot take it apart. There are other cans for SDs on the market that I know people have that are user serviceable, that you can take apart. Maybe I would have went that route. I don't know. It's too late now. I'm not gonna buy a whole nother can for this application. I got the B&T. I live with it. So what that means for me is I contacted B&T. I said, listen, what are my options? How do I service this can? How do I make sure it stays running right? So they pointed me in the direction of a specific cleaning solution that they offer on their website. They say all you got to do is just essentially squirt that stuff down in there, drown it in there basically, let it sit for, I don't know, a while, a few hours, whatever you want. Let it drain out, blow it out with some air, and you're good to go. They say they recommend doing that like, I don't know, anywhere between 500 and 800 rounds. So I have not had that many rounds through this gun yet. I probably have 200 rounds through this thing. I've taken the can off, I've inspected it, everything still looks good. The thing is with these, they get very, very dirty. So, you know, you want to make sure you are keeping up on cleaning the SD gun just in general. Another rookie mistake that I made, and hopefully this video helps you out if you're looking to do an SD build. There is something called an SD sealing ring. It's a rubber O-ring that goes in between the bottom of the SD can and essentially the front of the receiver where the can would fit up against to the receiver. All right. Now, there's a specific orientation that this ring goes in. Me not knowing and not really doing the research, when I first got the gun, you know, I'm looking at it, the can isn't on it obviously, you know, I'm putting the can on, I'm just messing around with it, I'm inspecting everything, right? And I didn't just happen to notice which way this O-ring sat in the groove. There's a groove that it sits in. So what I did is I put it in with this ridge side. You can see the ridges on this. This ridge side facing up or forward. So the can goes down on the barrel and sits on it like that. Now, this is the wrong orientation. It goes circle side or round side forward against the can to make the proper seal. I thought the way it sat in there, it needed to be flat, everything was good and nice and flat. But no, it's the round side. So after my first couple rounds of shooting it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the can off and clean the barrel. So when I did that, it ripped the O-ring. Ripped the O-ring. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why did it break? These things, you know, you can take the cans off and on, no issue. And you gotta clean them, it's gotta be serviceable. You can't stand to rip these things and damage them every time you take the can off. So I went through like 2 or 3 of these, then finding out that it was on the wrong way. So once I put it on the correct way, everything has been okay, but let me tell you, I'm still nervous now. Every single time I go to take that can off, I am nervous that this ring is gonna break. And you cannot shoot the MP5 SD without the sealing ring and the can attached. You'll lose pressures, gas escapes, it's just the whole thing. Recommended to highly not do that. So this is the USA made ones you can find. They're a little beefed up, they're a little more durable, they say, than the German ones. The German ones are a little thinner. But if you want to keep it all German, put a German one in there. I have a German one, but I also have more of these American made ones that are supposed to be more durable and thicker to last longer for more on and off and the wear and tear. So have yourself some backups just in case, because you don't want to be stuck without one of these things not being able to shoot the gun. Moving on back, I took off the factory standard rubber type circular handguard that you're gonna see on a basic MP5 SD. Since I was keeping this B&T, I knew I wanted to go all out with B&T, and I put the B&T tri-rail aluminum handguard on. Wanted to do that, I wanted to run a foregrip on the SD, even though it's perfectly fine to shoot just with the circle handguard, it's nice and comfortable. I just wanted to really trick this thing out and make it look awesome. So because I like running a vertical grip on my sub guns, especially MP5, I post up on it like this, and it's a dream to shoot. On this B&T handguard, if you are using, again, another truth about owning MP5 SD, if you get the American-made front-end SDs kits, the B&T clamshell does not bolt right up to the shroud. The American shrouds, for whatever reason, there's slots in these the metal handguards that run different lengths along the sides and the bottom of the shroud. The way the B&T matches up is spec'd on the HK German handguard, which is a thinner material, and the slots are mated longer for this handguard. The SD front end kit of the American style is thicker material, and the bottom portion here for that notch is not as long as the one on the German handguard. So what that means is the bracket to mount this up to does not fit. You would normally have 4 locking lugs to lock this thing into the handguard. Now you need to take and have some modification done to either the shroud to make that notch longer, or to the mounting bracket to make this fit on the way it's supposed to, which now this runs 3 as opposed to 4 locking locations. But 3 is fine. It is super solid. It doesn't move at all. It seems like it's welded on. 3 you can certainly get away with, but note that if you buy one of these for American US made front end kit, it's not gonna bolt right on. I found that out the hard way. On the pick rail, I have a Surefire Scout Pro, the mini one. But on that, I'm using the Arasaka offset mount because I wanted the light, now knowing that this gun for me would be like the bedside gun, the bump in the night gun, because it's so super quiet, no ears required. What's gonna happen is now that that light is a little further out towards the end of the can, you don't get that tactical shadow in the nighttime, having that shadow of the can obstructing your vision. So I wanted that light forward. You see that's really popular now on a lot of guns. Guys are running the lights very far forward. Running the pressure switch on this side, I just have it Velcro taped how it comes right here. So again, right on my thumb, where I put my thumb, I'm here, bang, 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 bang. Easy, ergonomic, ready to rock and roll. I love this setup. I didn't want a light that was too bright. I didn't want the big one because it's just too bright, especially for inside CQB type stuff. So I wanted the one that didn't have as many lumens. Worry about just, you know, reflection and all that stuff for CQB type operations. On the front end here, I'm also running the B&T stubby vertical grip. I just wanted to keep B&T since I did the B&T handguard. I wanted to kind of keep it the same, running B&T where I could. Something else that is absolutely necessary and non-negotiable to have for an SD is the barrel port brush, or the port brush. This is how you get down there and clean the ports and the threading on the barrel to attach the silencer to. Of course, I didn't bring it with me today, but it's a little cylinder brush that actually, if you take off your silencer, threads onto the end of the silencer, and then you put your silencer back down in there and twist it and twist it and twist it. It has bristles on the inside of the cylinder, which is the brush, and it gets all the carbon off of threads and cleans the ports that bleed out the gas into the suppressor and all of that to help reduce the sound signature. That is a must-have. You have to do it. You have to buy one of those, and sometimes they can be hard to find. Sometimes places have them in stock. A lot of times you got to find them in the aftermarket somewhere, like on forums. HK Pro is a great place to find stuff like that. It's not cheap stuff, but again, it's something you have to run an SD, and that's just another issue with the SD as far as the truth about owning it. You got to have all these particular things, and it's very particular and very high maintenance gun to keep clean and keep running, but if you do all the things you're supposed to do, it runs like a top, and it is the best suppressed gun that you'll own. Moving on back from there, we have the HK top pick rail. I love this pick rail. It's nice and low profile. It's got a little slant cut on the top to kind of keep your hand out of the way of the charging handle. Bolts on really easy. Nice, nice, nice. On top of that, running the Trigicon MRO. I like this optic on this gun. I think it looks awesome and it functions well with this setup. Going down from there, I put an ambi lower on because I love an ambi setup. I love the pictograph look. I love the extended selector switches. So I always put an ambi lower on all my MP5 stuffs. Moving on back here, you may or may not know what this is. This is the since discontinued for a while now, the Magpul ACR stock. A lot of adjustability there. It folds folds nice and out of the way. Has a cheek comb here that you can raise up or down, and you have a length pull adjustment here to make it longer or shorter, and it's a nice rubber butt pad. You also got, you know, a sling loop here, QD, you know, on either side. You can throw QD on there. This adapter I got from a company you may or may not know called Revolutionary Roller Locks. They are since not really in business anymore, but from what I understand, they were doing one last run of these adapters on the full size and the Ks for these ACR stocks for MP5s, should you want one, because I don't think there's really anybody else that makes those adapters for this stock on this platform. So no news yet on when that's supposed to happen, but from what I understand, it's supposed to be pretty soon. If you follow me on Instagram, I can keep you posted on that. I'll definitely let everybody know once I get word that they have gone live. The trials and tribulations of the MP5 SD ownership is really in the front end, all of the things that go on with that. Also, so like if you get a kit and you get it done by a good builder like Ralph Jr., you know, he'll make sure you're squared away. If you're taking a non-SD gun, you know, you're going to make sure you change out the locking piece to an SD locking piece in your carrier. Because of all the stuff, magic going on in the SD system, you need that SD marked locking piece in your MP5 to run. So you can get German ones of those, you can get American ones of those. You know, I went with an all German build, so I got, you know, German parts where absolutely possible. German SD front end kit are like unobtainium these days, and if you find them, they're very, very, very expensive. I didn't need that, so I just went with a, you know, the more economical version of the US made front end and got it done. So enough talking about it. Let's take some shots with the SD. No ears required, even indoors. Let's do it. Let's get it. SDs are gonna be smoky, but you cannot beat the sound suppression out of an SD. These things are super quiet. I don't know how well it's gonna translate. I'll make sure the volume is all the way up on those shots. Inside, even with the echo, no ears are required. That is how quiet these guns are. Bumping a night gun, perfect. You don't blow your eardrums out. You don't blow anybody else's eardrums out. This thing is the perfect gun, I'd say, for most situations. Just to show you already, that's first round through it. I think there was only 10 shots, and look how dirty these magazines are already. A lot of stuff comes back into the system. That's just with 10 shots. You can just tell how dirty these guns get and why you should probably clean it every time you use it, especially if you're going to use it in a range test and use a couple hundred rounds through it. You're definitely going to want to clean it, oil it, make sure it's running reliably. Dirty. That's dirty. I'm burning. I'm burning. So hopefully this video sheds some light on what it's like, about the truth on owning an MP5 SD, what it takes. Maybe you learn from some of my mistakes. Maybe you go a different direction. I don't know, but I'm here to help. Hopefully this does that for you. This is a bear to own. A lot of work, a lot of attention, a lot of detail go into these guns. They're not cheap. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. If this is what you're into, this is the best suppressed gun that I own for all situations. It's that quiet. I've had no ears on this whole time, and my ears are not hurting at all, not stinging, not ringing, nothing. Shout out to Ralph Jr. for getting this build done. His turnaround time on any customer, everything I've seen and people I know that have stuff done by him, it's 6 weeks, a 6-week turnaround time. Because he's a small business, he knocks it out, he gets stuff done. Again, I will leave his information below for you to check out. Highly recommended. This is it, guys. If you're into SDs, MP5s, this is the gun. This is the MP5 to own. All right, guys, don't forget Steve MP5 on the Instagrams. I'll see you next time. Ah.